Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb. We're about 24 hours removed from the PlayStation 5 event at the time of the recording of this video, and we're on our last ride, our last rodeo, the last story, pretty much the ending. They announced yesterday, as of the time of this recording, that Resident Evil 8 is the final game in the series. The final game in the series. We've grown up with Resident Evil. Pretty much everybody who's watching this video has had Resident Evil make a positive impact in their life. They've have Resident Evil close, near and dear to their heart. Whether Resident Evil 4 you played to death as a kid, or you played Resident Evil 5 to death as a teenager, or even if you're a newcomer and you got on with Resident Evil 7, or maybe Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake, these games have become a part of you. These games have become important to you. And now here we are. The series is ending, and I don't know how to feel about it. On one hand, I'm excited to see how it ends. On the other hand, I'm not ready for it to end. We don't really have any game like Resident Evil out there that could replace it. And it's kind of scary because after Resident Evil 8 comes out, we're going to live in a world where there's no more high-profile survival horror games. We're going to live in a world where there is no long-running game series left besides Mario and Zelda. We're going to live in a world without Leon Kennedy. We're going to live in a world without Chris Redfield, without Ada Wong, without Claire Redfield, without Jill Valentine, without Carlos Oliveira. There's so many characters that we're never going to see again. I'm sure we'll see them in movies, we'll see them in future remakes, we'll see them in comic books, we'll probably see them in another way, some form, probably another Capcom vs. Tekken or Capcom vs. Marvel game. But as far as them having their own dedicated brand new continuation, it's over. Resident Evil 8 ends the series. 2021, Resident Evil is over. And if the current leaks are to be true, which I'm assuming they are because every leak has been true so far about Resident Evil 8 by this one guy, this game comes out in the first quarter of 2021, whether that be January, February, or March. We have something to look forward to, and with us having this to come, we don't really have much time to prepare for the ending of the series. This is our final rodeo. This is our final ride, our one last bullet in the chamber for hyping up a Resident Evil game. We've hyped it up for Resident Evil 2, we hyped it up for Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 7, and, the Revelations, and the movie that was supposed to come out that I don't know what's going on with it. We've hyped up the Netflix show. Resident Evil has become an important part of this channel. And with this being the end, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know if I should be happy that the story is coming to an end and we're not going to be left in suspense anymore. And I don't know if I should be sad that one of my favorite games of all time is coming to an end. On one hand, this could be good because with Resident Evil being done, that leaves room for a new Dino Crisis game. That leaves room for that new horror game that's coming out by Capcom. It's called Pragmata or something like that. I'll be making a video about it in the next couple days. But on the other hand, I don't know if I should be sad about this. Because again, I've grown up with Resident Evil, you've grown up with Resident Evil, and even if you didn't grow up with Resident Evil, you're watching this video, so Resident Evil means something to you. You cared enough to click on it. So how are we supposed to take this? I don't know. It's gonna be weird not talking about Resident Evil leaks and rumors anymore. I've been doing that for the better part of the last 3 years. And without, Resident Evil being a staple of the channel, that's gonna be weird because we're gonna be in the same situation with Resident Evil as we are with Jak and Daxter. We're gonna be talking about it. We're gonna be talking to pretty much a wall because it's not like we're ever gonna get anything else for these. Of course, we're gonna get remakes and stuff, but we're not having another continuation. This is the end. This is it. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. Resident Evil has been too important of a game franchise for me. I've played every single game countless times. Recently, since I've modded my Vita, I've gone back to play the first 3 original Resident Evils. And it's way more fun than I remembered it being than the last time I played it. Last time I played it, I was kind of an edgy teenager, and, if it wasn't 3D, it wasn't good. But now, I don't think that way. And it's weird because I look around my room and I look at all these video games that I've collected right now. And just seeing all these series that have came to be and have came to end, like Jak and Daxter. That entire series was told within 3 years. And then we look at other things. We look at Wolfenstein, which has had technically 4 games technically, in the last 10 years. But it took them like 20 years to get a new series to come back up for that. Same with Doom. It took like 20 years for a new Doom game to come out. We look at all these games that have came to an end, and what is true about all of these games. Resident Evil still released consistently while these games were not having new games. And now it's going to be weird because with Resident Evil coming to an end, like, we're just not going to have anything like this anymore. This is the longest running video game franchise that isn't Mario or Zelda or some random fighting game. And that's crazy. That's insane to think about. Resident Evil is coming to an end. Resident Evil has one last game. Resident Evil is over. This is our last time that we're going to be able to hype up a new Resident Evil game. And when I say new, I mean like one that we've never experienced before. Of course, we'll be hyping up Resident Evil 4 remake, 0 remake, and everything else, but this is our final new Resident Evil game to get excited about. And I think we should take these moments and enjoy it, because we're not going to get this again. This is it. This is it. It's weird because the feelings I'm getting with this game are the same feelings I got in high school when my track and cross country stuff was coming to an end during my final race, my final track race. And it's weird because we spent all this time with Resident Evil, and now, you know, the finish line is there. We know we're coming down the home stretch. 8 more months, series are over. 8 more months, there's no more Resident Evil to look forward to as far as new games come, besides remakes. But for the sake of argument, we're not including the remakes as new games, since they are remakes of old games that we've already played. It's gonna be weird as time progresses and we get more and more used to living in a world without Resident Evil. It's gonna be closer to the release before it really sets in. But that moment when we go to Best Buy or the mailman delivers it and we're holding Resident Evil in our hand, or if you're getting it digitally and the download is finished and it says you can start it at midnight, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be really weird to open that game and start Resident Evil for the final time. It's gonna be really weird getting to the final boss and knowing that this is the final boss in Resident Evil history. It's gonna be really weird when the credits roll and we know that that's it, that it's over, that we don't have anything else, that this is it, Resident Evil's done. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be really weird. But, I mean, there's no use in dwelling on it. Let's pretend it's not happening. Let's pretend the end is not inevitable. And let's pretend that we're gonna have 5,000 more Resident Evils after this. And we're gonna run through this game. We're gonna hype up every news about it. We're gonna talk about it like we always have. And you know what? This game may be coming to an end, but the series has been beautiful, and the series has been... It's going to be something that's going to be talked about in video games for the next 200 years, maybe even longer. This is a game that we will see remakes in VR 10 years from now. We'll see remakes in AR 20 years from now. This is a game that will never truly die. Even if this is the final new game and the final piece of the story, the final plot, we still have a lot to look forward to when it comes to remakes and re-releases in the future. And who knows, maybe Capcom will decide to make another new game after all. But with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this in the comments down below. Try not to die, and I'll see you in the next video.